I'm on Fitz. Welcome back to the Fitz Stop podcast. Let's take a look at race number 2 in the new regulations of Formula 1 2026. And it was a win for the young teenager Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes. His second season in Formula 1. It is race number 2 and he's finally got that chip off his shoulder. Everything a race driver dreams of is winning the first Grand Prix, which generally leads to just a bit of relaxing and then focusing on the racing. It just becomes that bit easier. He's in a championship winning car. It's his second year in Formula 1 and he's shown us what he can do. Now, he did struggle. There were some not mature drives in his first season, but to jump into Lewis Hamilton's car and be racing with Mercedes, who were fighting for wins at a few Grand Prix with George Russell last year, Mercedes have got the new regulations right. The ground effect cars are gone. They've gotten the engine right. Everything about this car, it's very dominant and it's well ahead of the rest. Ferrari are in the mix, of course, but when it comes to pure race pace and tyre wear, long runs, the Mercedes is in an absolute field of its own. And it was such a mature drive from Kimi Antonelli. We know Russell obviously had his problems in qualifying, but for Kimi Antonelli to be there, be mature, not crack under pressure. He had a bit of a messy race when it came to the sprint, to put it on pole position, to start. He didn't lead the race. I mean, Ferrari made sure that he wasn't going to go into the first corner in the lead. Made it a bit difficult for him. Then he got into a good groove. Kept the pace ahead of George Russell. And they were kind of fighting back and forth for times and fastest laps. Slight bit of a mistake, a lock-up. And he did slightly go off, which I say put the absolute fear of God into him. But he managed to keep calm. And it was a very mature drive from pole position to a win. It's not easy to do, and especially in these new regulations as well, and trying to understand the cars and understand the starts. So a better start this time around. The battery, how to deploy the car after a safety car, you know, minding the tyres, but also thinking about your battery as well. There's a lot more for the drivers to think about, but the message from Toto was lovely at the end. What he said, when people said, oh, you should put him in a smaller team, he's not ready, he won't win any races. It was so emotional to see him crying. I'm doing the interview with DC. He was crying, I was crying, you were crying. We love these stories in Formula 1, and this is what Formula 1 is all about. So we now go into the rest of the season where we head to the Japanese Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we'll have a bit of a break until we go to Miami. But, you know, is Kimi Antonelli in for a shot with the championship? Is he clearly a number 2 driver? Will he just be given the chance to win on weekends where George Russell isn't at his best or maybe has mistakes or retires? It's going to be an interesting one to see, and I think maybe this is the story that needs to unfold, because if it doesn't, we might have a boring season of Formula 1 in 2026 if the rest of the field don't start catching up with Mercedes and Ferrari. But it was a very mature drive and a great for Kimi Antonelli to just tick that off the box. He's now a Mercedes winner. There's not many. And to have George, Kimi and Lewis Hamilton on the podium was just such a special moment. The relationship between Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli is just amazing, and it's so nice to see. And Lewis Hamilton back to his best, I think, and very humble as well, and happy to see him on the podium. But it is looking very strong for Mercedes in 2026. And Kimi Antonelli, finally, he's got that win.